New Thought is a way of living. It is a way. And it's not just New Thought Science of Mind, New Thought Unity, or the ways we have experienced it.
In essence, we teach that there is only one power and that that power responds through our thinking in perfection.
New Thought, in my view, is us finally waking up to the truth. That's a new thought in and of itself.
Non-Judgment Day is here, and it is our opportunity to be that in the world that then shines the light for other people to step up into their power and recognize that we're connected down to the very core of who and what we are.
Every single moment, no matter what, we are in an interaction with life. We're doing a transaction with life.
I don't care what language or vernacular it comes out in. It really doesn't matter to me.
The big question is, knowing that we belong to each other, how are we then going to be with each other?
Thank you, Kay, for bringing that to us. Timing's perfect. Thursday evening, we have A Course in Miracles, as well as a bike race planning meeting. And Pam?
We have some great announcements during our community council meetings.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, good. And speaking of community council, we have a potluck and community council today starting about 11:30. I hope you all plan to stay. Those of us that were in Kansas City are going to share some things with you. Patrick has a wonderful video of Unity Village, and it was a great experience. So we'll have lots of things to share, an update on the bike race and everything. So if you forgot to bring some food, no worries. You know, we have a little basket if you'd like to contribute something to that. That would be great. So, but I hope to see you all here to break bread together. It's a wonderful time. And now, Gary Evans is going to share Daily Word with us.
Today's word is light. Our affirmation is, I live in the light of God. The sunlight that awakens me on a summer morning is bright and encouraging. Its radiance beckons me into a day of abundant possibilities. The indwelling light of God is constant. It leads me on a path to my highest good, providing direction when I am unsure what to do. To find this inner light, I center my heart and mind on the love of God. My path becomes clear. God is my light, my strength, and my hope. I trust the light of God within to awaken me to my full potential. With divine light shining in me, I am strong and confident. I live in the light of God. Each day is like a bright summer day in which all things are possible. Our scripture today is 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 29. Indeed, you are my lamp, O Lord. The Lord lightens my darkness. Let us acknowledge this sacred moment by singing Surely the Presence.
A lot of buzz. Where is that? Is that swamp cooler? Oh, okay. Is that on high or low? Is it on low? Okay. Sounds loud. Sounds like we may have a bearing going out then. So, good morning. I shot an arrow into the air. Why? You know, sometimes my talk topics come to me during the week. Sometimes they come to me on Sunday. This time, my talk topics literally fell out of the sky. Did anyone see this by the back door last Sunday when you left? Did you?
Sometime during the week I saw it back there.
Well, I did not see it when I came in. So it was before last Sunday when it fell, huh?
No, it was between last Sunday and now. I saw it Sunday morning.
Okay. Going out or coming in? Coming in. So anyway, it reminded me of a time when I was in college. I was renting an apartment down at 620 Pennsylvania in West Boulder. And I was into archery at the time. And I was curious as to how far I could shoot an arrow. So I stepped out into the parking area right by the house, right by the apartment. And I took a target arrow like this one. I don't think it was this one, but I took a target arrow out of the quiver and I aimed the bow up into the air. Thankfully, I aimed it just a little bit off of vertical, but I wanted to see how far it would fly. And I didn't find out because the thing disappeared. I mean, it flew so high that I lost it in the clouds. And so somewhere of 620 Pennsylvania, probably south of University, there was an arrow that was stuck in a tree, or it came down on a roof, or it came down in the lawn and somebody found it. I know for sure that no one was killed by it because for days afterwards I searched the paper to see if anyone was admitted to the hospital with an arrow in them. So, you know, when I think about kids and their lack of attention to reality and the effects that they have on reality, I remember this incident. And when I ask the question, what could they possibly have been thinking, I have the answer. They weren't. So now that I've had the opportunity to confess my sins of 20 years of age, actually it wasn't a sin because I didn't miss the mark. There was no mark that I could have missed. But I got that out of my system. Thankfully, Shannon is not here. But oh no. Oh, you have no excuse, though, because you're 30 years old, 31. Neurologists say that the brain finishes its connectedness of regions by the age of 25. Based upon my evidence, I was probably slow in development. But so you're past that age now, so no question, no excuse. All right. I saw her leave the room as I pointed out to her. Well, this year we've been using the 12 symptoms of enlightenment as a launching point for our topics. And as we look at the 12 symptoms of enlightenment, we see that there is, in the third symptom on this list, feelings of being connected with others and with nature. This talk is not about the lack of awareness of reality of 20-year-olds, in my case, but rather about our interconnectedness with each other, with all of creation. When we look at the communities of which we are a part, how many of you are members of 2 communities? How many of you are members of 5 communities? How many of you are members of 10 communities? I would suggest to you that it would be useful for you to consider how many different communities you are a part of. I mean, this is a community, right? But you also have your neighborhood geographic community. But you probably have circles of friends, and those circles of friends comprise communities. And you might have circles of friends involved in playing games, maybe a circle of card playing friends. You might have a circle of friends that are certainly at work. You probably have several communities at work. So when we look at all of the communities of which we are a part, and then we look at the relationships that we have within those communities, we start to map out what looks like a very complex web of relationships. And that web of relationships will have, you will have an influence, either an encouraging influence or a discouraging influence on all of those relationships by your thoughts, your words, your actions. You may say, well, maybe not, but words and actions probably. Well, the thoughts are, in fact, the stimulus for your words and the stimulus for your actions. So your thoughts, words, and actions will have an effect on all of those relationships. It's kind of like, a spider will sit in a web and will know where an insect has hit the web just by the feel of the vibrations on the various main strings. It's kind of like the way we have location based upon cell phone reception. Whether or not you have GPS on your phone or not, you can find your rough position relative to the strength of the signal to the various towers. So in your relationships, you have influence, either encouraging influence or discouraging influence. And that influence is both ways. Both those who you are related to having an influence on you, and you having an influence on them. So when we engage in whatever it is that we do, whether it be performing our work, whether it be working in the community at various activities, whatever it is that you do, you have. When I came back from the Philosopher's Stone yesterday, Patrick gave me a ride over to the coffee house, so I walked back, and as I was coming north on Wadsworth, crossing Ralston, there by the bus stop, there was some trash on the ground, and so I reached down to pick it up, and just 10 feet away, there was a discarded grocery bag. And so I decided, well, I'll just, rather than walk back to the corner and discard this trash, I'll just put it in the grocery bag, carry it back to the center, and throw it in the trash back here. So I stepped a few feet further, and there was another piece of trash, and so I reached down and picked it up. And so on my way back, those 2 blocks from Ralston and Wadsworth back to here, I had a grocery bag stuffed full of bottles, and there was an old rag that had been thrown out or discarded anyway in a garden. And so I came back with a bag of trash. Now, other than the fact that I had the opportunity to brag about how enlightened and such a wonderful soul I am, what other effects might that have had, other than the fact that the route from Wadsworth and Ralston to here for a time yesterday on this side of the street was trash-free? What other effects might that have had? An example for others. Okay, all right. So we might have had someone in one of the houses glance out the window and see this street person with a bag of trash, cleaning up, maybe even seeing me pick up stuff that was in their yard. Okay? What other effect did it have? Plastic could end up in the ocean. Okay? What other effect? Anything else? What effect did it have on my consciousness? How did it make me feel? Did it make me feel like I was contributing to this neighborhood? That I was adding value? What benefit is that? Of what benefit is that? Ooh, this is going to be an easy talk because I'm going to wait until someone answers. So what effect might that have? Okay, all right. It may have given me distraction from, did I understand that correctly? Okay, may have given me distraction from whatever else I was worrying about. Okay? Sense of pride. Okay? Gave good energy back. Okay? Now there is value in that, right? There's value in that eminence, that radiance of energy back to my communities. Because it is my thoughts that also affect influence, either encouraging influence or discouraging influence, to the members of my various communities. I don't have to say anything. In fact, Jesus encourages us not to stand up and be proud, but rather to do it in quiet because, well, we'll get to that. So here we have an opportunity in each of our actions, in each of our days, to choose how we are going to interact with our world. We make that choice. Well, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow offered us this. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed the song into the air. It fell to earth, I know not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long after I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. While I may sing in whatever way I sing, while I may radiate that positive, encouraging energy in my web of relationships, I may not know what effect it has on those unseen recipients. Can you think of and share with us a time when you had influence in one of your communities that, unbeknownst to you, had a positive effect that you discovered later? Okay.
I have one I just related. I was doing a journal workshop. I asked people to use their non-dominant hand. And there was a woman there who said she couldn't write. She was just accompanying someone because she had a stroke and her right side was affected, so she couldn't write, and she was just going to sit there. Writing with her left hand had been beaten out of her as a child, literally. And when I was the first person who gave her permission to use her left hand, and she started writing, and she was doing it the artist's way. She was writing avidly because I gave her permission to use her left hand. I had no idea.
You had no idea.
None whatsoever.
It was just an exercise. It was just a workshop technique.
Right.
Yeah. That sends chills up.
Oh, I still get it when I tell them.
Yeah.
I got a miracle come through.
Yeah, exactly. And how often do we have those miracles that come through us that we never find out about? Because we have taken the choice, we've made the choice to be a radiance of positive energy. And it was, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. You know, we listen to the news, we look upon our world with the perception that there's so many things going wrong in our world. And certainly the news industry makes its money. It sells us the advantage of being well informed. But the problem is, it chooses in its individual representatives, the Brian Williams and the Van Cisterns and the implements of the industry. They get to choose what information we should consider as valuable. And so what happens is that we look upon the world and we talk about all the suffering, all of the mayhem, and all of the things that are wrong and fearful about the world. But I suggest to you that if we had perfect, omnipotent, that we would see not all of the murder and mayhem and chaos in the world, but we would see the foundation of the world to be loving, to be giving, to be positive, to be nurturing, to be encouraging, rather than discouraging. I would suggest to you that if we had the opportunity to tell the news industry what kind of news we want to hear that is encouraging and positive, the only way we do that is how? By what we pay attention to. If all of a sudden the news broadcasts found that they had no listenership because the audience decided that they were done with the murder and mayhem emphasis, we would see a shift. Why? Because the news responds to what the audience requires, only if we tell them. Well, this is not about having a boycott on news. It's about choosing what we are going to radiate, what we are going to broadcast. And when we make the choice of offering the positive, the encouraging, the powerful, the lifting and nourishing, then we are shifting not only our web of relationships, but we are shifting ourselves. And when we look at let's see if it's in the right order here. When we look at these 5 pillars of faith and look again at that third principle, that the thoughts we hold in mind manifest in our experience, I am of the opinion that this really points to our ability to control our experience merely by holding the thoughts. Not about changing events out there that seem to be random events, that seem to be events that occur because of someone else's actions, but because we respond to those events in a way that is powerful and nurturing and uplifting and encouraging. The thoughts we hold in mind manifest in our experience because we have chosen the thoughts and how we will be responding to those events. Well, as we look at this passage in Matthew, Jesus offered us this: beware of practicing your before others in order to be seen by them, for then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound the trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. As it relates to my experience yesterday of picking up trash, if I were not using it as an illustration in this talk, I would not have broadcast it. I would have just done it and left it alone. Why? Because of the shift in my own consciousness. Someone used pride a moment ago, and I don't remember who, but pride is something that I try to stay away from because it is a distraction. Why is it a distraction? It is a distraction because it is a tool of the ego to say, aren't I great? Do you understand? Do you understand that? When Shannon was growing up, I tried very hard not to tell her how proud I was of her. And whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, that was the practice. I encouraged her. I told her what a wonderful thing that she accomplished, but I never used the word, I am proud of you, because I feel that pride is one of the most powerful tools the ego has to maintain my own sense of separation from others. Does that make sense to you? So, when we practice our piety, we do not do it before others with the intention of elevating ourselves, making us feel more holy, but rather we do it in secret because our Father will reward us in secret. What does that mean? It's not about some external being saying, here, we've got $300 or we've got an emblem for you to wear on your lapel, or we've got a trophy for you to put on your shelf. It's not about that, because that just reinforces this concept of separation. But rather it is about, in my own consciousness, realizing that I am just another expression of the divine, doing the best I know how, and that's the end of it. Doing the best I know how. So I encourage you, as you consider the things that you do in the world, the thoughts you hold, the words you speak, the actions that you conduct in the world, that you allow those to be sent forth without attachment, allowing them to have the influence that they might have on your web of relationships, and let it go. Patrick, can you pull up that video for me? This was a video that was compiled by an insurance company in Thailand. It has subtitles. I'll read them as it goes along here. Let me help. The sign says for education.
เขาจะได้อะไร
What
ถ้า
does
เขา
he
ทำ
get
แบบ
in
นี้ทุกวัน
return for doing this every day? There you are.
เขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลย
He gets nothing.
ไม่ได้รวยขึ้น
He won't be richer.
ไม่ได้ออกทีวี
Won't appear on TV.
ไม่มีใครรู้จัก
Still anonymous.
ไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มาก
Not a
ขึ้น
bit more famous. Mom.
.เพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้
What he does
คือได้แค่
receive are emotions.
ความรู้สึก ได้เห็นความสุข
He witnesses happiness.
ได้เข้าใจ
Reaches a deeper understanding.
ได้ความรัก
Feels the love.
ได้ในสิ่งที่เงิน
Receives
ซื้อไม่
what
ได้
money can't buy.
ได้โลกที่สวยงาม
A
กว่าเดิ
world
ม
made more beautiful. Here's extras, he said.
ในชีวิตคุณ
And in your life,
อะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณ
what is
ต้อง
it
การ
that you
มากที่สุ
desire
ด
most?
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อ
Believe in good. If I were there, I'd buy that insurance. So as we conduct ourselves, do we conduct ourselves with the radiance of love? Do we conduct ourselves with the radiance of upliftment? Do we conduct ourselves with encouragement? Do we conduct ourselves in a way that nourishes the lives of others, whether that be apparent to us or not? Do we conduct ourselves in a way where we can truly say to ourselves, I am an expression of the divine in this moment? We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come in with I cast all my cares. I cast all my cares on you, God. I cast all my cares on you and lay all my burdens.
All my cares on you, oh God.
In this moment, as in each and every moment, we have the opportunity to choose. What do we choose? Do we choose for expression of the divine or the expression of the ego? In each and every moment, every thought that we hold is a prayer. It is a prayer of experience. as we hold the thoughts that are uplifting, nourishing, encouraging, we feel the shift. We feel the radiance. We feel the encouraging influence moving from us through our web of relationships among our communities. Whether those who are in our communities respond or not. It is most important the effect on our own well-being, our own wellness, our own wholeness. As we express those positive vibrations and see those vibrations radiating through our web of influences, seeing how those vibrations will continue on through the webs of those that are affected. I sang a song into the air. It fell to earth, I know not where. Let's just rest in that awareness of wholeness, of radiance. And holding that awareness, we come back into this time and space, sharing the words of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory So we'll take an offering for unity now. For those of you in our internet audience, thank you for being here with us. You may also make a contribution by using the donate button at the bottom of the player on the web page. Thank you. And as we hold our contributions in our hands, let us bless them with this offering statement. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I trust in God. And once again, Trinity Damask, near reverence.